I think in life, it's easy to run. You know, easy to run from your destiny, easy to run from who you could become. It's easy. I think it's more of a challenge sometimes just to face yourself, to face your fears, to face who you can become. It's easy to run, you know. It's easy to shirk responsibilities, you know. It's easy to be the lesser person. Sometimes it's encouraged. Not neglect. Sometimes I rhyme slow, sometimes I rhyme quick. Quick, 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 quick. Yeah, hey David, what's going on? Yeah, you know, I think it's easy to be a runner. I think it's easy to at least in the short term. You know, a lot of times people have a fear of becoming, I guess who they were destined to be. Yeah, it's easy. I think so. Why is it easy? I think it's easy to run. It's easy not to deal with responsibilities sometimes, because it may require you to be somebody who you don't want to be. It may require you to be responsible for things that you probably, didn't think about. Sometimes folks just want to do what they want to do. Sometimes we just want to be free, unburdened, no entanglements, no attachments. 90 Glock says facts. The issue with that, though, is that, at least I have, is that we don't do it alone. Not in this life. I could say, hey, I did it all by myself, or I survived day to day off my own wits, off my own will, off my own willingness to survive. I'm the safe, self-made individual. It's not true. The truth is that, we live in a world with people. We have folks that support us. We have folks that don't support us. 90 Glock says the issue is that if you got responsibilities, you got to take care of them before it gets too out of hand. Yeah, you should take care of them. But some people don't. Reality is some people don't want to take care of responsibilities. Some people don't want to deal with certain issues. Maybe it's too hard. Maybe it's just not their cup of tea. It's not in their nature. A lot of people in the world don't want to face themselves. It's like, why should I? Especially when you're young. Yeah, I got these wires in the way. Oh boy, wires. But I don't know. I don't want to have all this light in the way. Yeah, but yeah, it's easy to run from who you can become. Sometimes the mediocrity is celebrated, accepted, because it forces you to a situation where you don't have to be responsible, where you don't have to, be held accountable. It's easy to run because, what's the point? David says very true. But then the question I have to anybody is, what happens to those people that need you? What happened to those people who were strengthened by you becoming, your true self? Sometimes we forget that. Amazing Grace Holmes says, good evening. Good evening to you, Amazing Grace. And I'm just talking about how it's easy to run. It's easy to run from yourself. It's easy to run from responsibilities. And in the short term, it works. In the short term, it makes sense to run from your responsibilities, to not deal with things that make you feel uncomfortable. But then the reality is, in the long term, our growth can be stunted because how do you grow? How do you grow if you keep running? How do you grow if you don't face yourself in the mirror? You know, like I said, nobody's going to try to force you to do that. I mean, you could not face yourself. You could run from your problems. You could hide from yourself. Vinji, what's going on? Sorry I couldn't make your live stream earlier, or didn't make your live stream. I know I was on my way home from work, but thank you for stopping by mine. I almost feel bad, that you came to my live stream and I didn't come to yours. But again, thank you. And I'm just talking about how sometimes it's easy to run. 4:23 Friday afternoon here. Yeah, wow. That's dope. That's dope. Good afternoon to you. Good morning, good afternoon, good night to some folks. And I'm just talking about how it's easy to run from responsibility. It's easy to run from your destiny. It's easy to hide from yourself. I think a lot of us at some times have done it. We've hidden from ourselves. We put ourselves in situations where we can ignore things and act like, you know what, maybe that's not important. But I say to that, what if you didn't run? Benji says it's all good. I didn't expect anyone to come to my live stream. All good. Yeah, 100. Tierra said, hey. Tell Tierra I said, hey. But I get it, though. Sometimes it's a challenge, to stand up and face whatever situation, to stand up and face whatever's coming your way. Ned, 669, says, good evening. Good evening to you. I mean, I get it. Sometimes things make us uncomfortable. Sometimes having certain attachments, certain responsibilities. I've got to shoot, but I love your talks. I'll be back again. Thanks, David. Running reminds me of the 80s song, We're on the Road to Nowhere. Sometimes folks are on the road to nowhere. I say sometimes you're running looking for shortcuts in life, and you take so many shortcuts that you wind up going in circles. And at some point, when we're ready, when we're willing to look in the mirror and see ourselves, all our scars, all our imperfections, things like that, maybe you see the truth. The truth hurts. It's not always pretty. It's not always beautiful. I have to look myself in the mirror, see who I am, see what's going on. Hopefully you do, whoever's out there, Like I said, but it's easy to run from your reflection. It's easy to run from life. It's easy, Ned says, 669 says, appreciate these words. Thank you. I appreciate you for watching. It comes to a point where we cheat ourselves when we run. We cheat ourselves from the relationships that we can have. 90 Glock says, Wonder Flex World, why you looking for the truth? Go check. Yeah, okay. You're right. Well, my family is safe. So I'm not worried about that right now. But thank you, 90 Glock, for asking, what's going on. Yeah. But I gotta stop saying Yeah, it comes to a point. As Benji says, no point in running, because when you stop, what you're running from still keeps till it catches you. Yeah. Well, like the old timers taught me, whatever's chasing you can't chase you if you stop running. And I get it. In life, it's easy for us to shirk responsibility. It's easy for us to give up. It's easy for us to dodge a situation. It's easy for us to not take accountability. And sometimes, we lie to ourselves. And the worst lies that we tell are the ones that we tell to ourselves about not being able to handle certain things, or not being prepared for certain things, or not being ready for particular situations that we've been trained and, taught how to handle since birth, or had experience from previous situations. I myself have had situations, you get taught or experienced in, and you learn how to deal, But, a couple of people clapping and saying facts. That's interesting. Thanks. You know, we all make decisions. It's like I told somebody one time. You can you can give into things. You can reject it. Hey, what up, bro? What up, Yas Poet? You have a good night too. You know, you can give into things. You can reject certain things. You know, it's a choice. Everything is a choice. But the choices that we make reveal who we are. You can run, you can not run. You know, both choices are acceptable in life. But still, with the choices that we make, they reveal who we are. At any given moment. Not to say that if you ran today, you have to run yesterday. Not to say that if you didn't run today, that you won't run tomorrow. At each moment, we're given choices. We're given, sometimes ultimatums or paths that we have to walk, or things that we can do. Some of us, if you're lucky. Some of us don't have choice. Some of us have those choices taken away from us. Due to different circumstances and things like that. Not to get too philosophical on the live stream, but it is interesting, the reasons why people run. They're not really complicated reasons and stuff like that. Sometimes people got to run from certain situations because you're a fugitive of the law, and hope not. 90 Glock says, "Do it." Yeah, do it. Do it till you're satisfied, whatever it is. Like I said, I'm not trying to have no long, deep conversation. I'm just saying how sometimes when we're really not ready to face certain things, it's easy to run. And sometimes really all we're running from is ourselves, or running from fears, or running from, certain perceptions of what's not going to happen, or, how we may fail, or how we may hurt somebody else, or whatever the case is, And I get it. And I get it. Vinci says most people don't have the ability to understand the implications of their choices. That could be true, but it also comes down to this. Evelyn says, "I'll keep running. Thanks for making it lie on me, though." Oh, okay. I don't know if it's that. Yeah, man, that's why enemy of the state. Okay, so people are saying that they're enemies of the states and they're runners and all this other stuff. Okay. Nah, it's not so much about that. It's about the choices that people make, We all make choices in life, but the choices reveal who we are. That's really what I'm really trying to get at. I'm not going to say that this is not directed towards anybody and stuff like that, because if you're a runner, you're a runner. If you're somebody that stands, you're somebody that stands. But to answer Vinji's point, it comes to a point of, people can run because they don't have the ability to understand, which I don't agree with that part. I agree that people have the ability to understand. I think that people run because it forces them to be vulnerable. It forces them to have to be accountable. It forces them to have to see themselves in a true, realistic way. And sometimes folks don't want to look in the mirror, don't want to be vulnerable. They don't want to be, touched. They don't want to be, moved in certain ways. Maybe they're used to just, the barriers, the defense mechanisms that we put up. And that's not just for one specific person. I'm saying that. It's for anybody. It's for myself, for you, for anybody else that may watch later. Sometimes people get hurt and they put up defense mechanisms. They don't run. It's easy for hiding from yourself. Yeah. Yeah. You could hide from yourself. A lot of people do it. Vinji says choices have an adverse opposite no matter what, e.g., good, evil, nice, not run, walk, etc. Yeah, choices do have, positive, negative effects, reactions, counteractions, counterbalances, alternate ways of looking at it, however you want to put that, but our choices say more about the nature of who we choose to be from one moment to the next. Even me choosing to do this live stream. Yeah, Ned says the good with the bad. You learn the balance, but, what you lean towards says more about you as a person. You know, what type of person you want to be, what type of nature you want to be. I mean, and it's not so much of saying that, anybody is evil or wrong or bad or whatever the case may be. You know, you have strong folks out there and you have weak people, out there. So, it's like, which one do you choose to be at any given moment? I mean, if you have weakness in you and things that are stopping you, be honest. Vinny says, I live by the fact that every action I take has a reaction, so I try to control the reaction if I can. You can try to control the reactions, your own reactions, which you can. 90 Glock says facts. You can control your own reactions, which is always a good thing, not to let people move you in various ways and whatnot, I choose to be strong and open-minded. That's interesting. 90 Glock. It's interesting that you say that. I mean, being strong and open-minded is a good thing if you can. But the truth is, some people are not always able to be strong and open-minded. And I'll agree with Vinji on that point there. Some people don't have that ability. But I think if you have a willingness to learn, you can, get that ability. You can learn and be taught how not to run. And I think it's really a willingness, about the choices and stuff that people make, and you say to yourself, okay, really it comes down to what are you willing to do to achieve the goals or to become the person that you need to and or should be if you want to. At 90 Glock, I'm unfiltered. That means that I take everything and everyone for their face value. 90 Glock says I try not to look forward to the next day as long as I'm going to the same. Well, let me see that again. It says you have to try to look forward to the next day. Not all days are going to be the same. I agree. Not all days are going to be the same. But a lot of times we as people, we run from things based off of what the last day was or what the past was. Sometimes the past haunts us and it causes us to be stuck in what was and what transpired and what hurt us. Sometimes people never recover from their own past pain and past hurts, whatever abuse they may have faced. Sometimes those things happen. Those things happen. And, like I said, I get it. I get it. I get it. People go through things and it causes people to say, you know what, I'll close myself in or, I'll be to my corner, and I get it. And I get it. Not everybody wants to face themselves. Not everybody wants to see themselves as they truly are. Sometimes, it's a hard reality. The truth hurts, especially our own truths. The things that people don't see, the things that a satellite feed can't pick up, the things that a psychologist can't read, or a boyfriend or a girlfriend can't perceive. There's things that hurt us. There's things that are deep in our mind and our psyche and our hearts. Things only that we know. Benji says, I thought I would die by the time I got 40, and I understand I'm going to die one day. Let me finish that. I understand I'm going to die one day. It's the greatest equalizer. So since I'm now 52, I try to enjoy my life one day at a time. Yeah. I say enjoy life. Enjoy life, definitely. Also be realistic with yourself, in the life that you live. Try to be as honest with yourself as possible. And sometimes when people run from what life is and who they can be, you cheat yourself. You cheat yourself of the real experiences that you can have, the people that you could meet, the relationships that are out there, stuff like that. And that's really for folks to modestly self-efface and see for themselves. You really can't make a person, become who they need to be, or not run from themselves, or not run from those that care about them. 90 Glock says, at Vinji, make sure you live life to the fullest if you feel that way. Yeah, but what does it mean to live life to the fullest? I asked that to 90 Glock, to Vinji, to anybody, Evelyn, anybody out there. People say live life to the fullest, but what does that mean? Is it a way you think? Is it the way you talk? Is it a a certain, group of people you hang around. Is a certain culture you're a part of. What does it mean to live life to the fullest? You know, to grab the bull by the horns, if that means anything. You know, but I think in society we get taught to run. Benji says, if I'm nice to people, I believe that some people won't like me, but at least I have made the effort. At least I have made the effort to be a kind human being, and that is my fullest. That's dope. That's dope. So what you're saying is that, part of living life to the fullest is being kind to people, despite them. Okay, he said nice people. Okay, if I'm nice to people, I believe that some people won't like me. Okay, so what you're saying is that you're nice to people, and you being nice to people, regardless if they won't like you or not, is your definition of being of living to the fullest. That's cool. Everybody has different definitions for why and how they live life to the fullest. 90 Glock says, no, living life to the fullest means to me, don't try so hard. If you try too hard, you will fall even faster. That's an interesting way of looking at it. You're saying you try too hard, you're gonna fall down. You're gonna go down quick. Living life to the fullest. Is as Evelyn saying, finding your soulmate. Yeah, that's definitely interesting. Like I said, these are interesting things that people are putting out there. So you got people saying that living your life to the fullest is how you treat people, being kind to people. Another person is saying living your life to the fullest is not trying so hard. And another one is saying basically it's finding your soulmate. Yeah, these are definitely different definitions on living life to the fullest. 90 Glock says, hey, Evelyn, I'm glad you said that. I'm about to find my soulmate. In the bedroom, she's waiting for me. Oh, my God. Oh, good night, everyone. Okay. I'm glad that you found your soulmate. I'm not gonna get on here and start talking about soulmates and finding soulmates. That's a whole other conversation in itself. Soulmates. Yeah, everybody. I think everybody has a soulmate. Everybody has somebody that they should be with, and that person that they're looking for, or they found, or whatever that may be. So it's definitely interesting. Love you too, bro. Love you too. Much love to you. Yeah, man. Deliver it strong. We'll leave it at that. You go deal with your soulmate in the bedroom. Oh my goodness. But yeah. I think that's pretty much all I really have to say about that particular situation. Thank you for any and everybody that came on the live stream, that left your comments, that, just gave me the thumbs up. Vinji says, I find people run from little things such as debt, social issues, politics, government, etc. But there's one thing, hold on, let me see. But there's one thing no one can take from you, and that's the person that you are. Before I go, I guess I'll address that. Sometimes people can't take the person that you are away if you allow it, if you let them. If you let a person take away the nature of who you are, then they can. I believe they can. I mean, I can understand where you're coming from with it. Nobody can take who you are. Maybe you're talking particularly in that moment. In that moment, if you're a negative person, if you're a positive person, whoever you are in that moment, if you're coming from that standpoint, then I totally agree. But sometimes experiences change us. They don't. We may not become broken, or we may not, be who we recognize, but we can definitely be changed in the moment. Okay, in the moment. In the moment, I'll give you that, then, Vinji. If you're talking about in the moment, then whoever you are in the moment, no one can take that away from you. But the reality is, if you're being honest with yourself about who you are in that particular moment, then you have a wealth of wisdom that many people on this planet haven't even tapped into. To modestly self-efface and be honest with yourself about who you are at any given particular moment is a blessing, is a gift in itself. And a lot of people are not honest with themselves. A lot of times we lie to ourselves. The worst lies are not the ones that we tell to other people, the ones that we tell to ourselves. That we're okay, that we're fine, that everything's going to be all right when it isn't. That, certain people may not care about us, or nobody could love us, or, things won't work out the way that they should, especially when everything is lined up for it to work out. So it comes to a point where, if you're honest with yourself in that moment and you're true to who you are, then yeah, I agree. No one can take that away from you, especially in that moment, whoever you are. But it comes down to a point where, you have to be willing not to run. Benji says the moment becomes a memory, and you just gotta hope it was a good moment. You just gotta hope it was a good moment to make it a good memory that will hopefully transgress to wisdom. That's interesting. That is definitely an interesting thought that you have there. It reminds me of something that an old timer told me, is that the memories fade but the wisdom remains. That you have situations where you may not remember all the details, but you remember how it felt. You remember what the result gave you, or what came, the patterns and stuff like that, but you may not remember everything that happened. So the memory fades but the wisdom remains. So I can definitely relate to that particular comment that you made. And on that note, like I said again, let me get up out of here. Thank you, Vinji. You stayed to the end. I definitely appreciate that. Your next live stream, I definitely had to catch up with you and see what's good. Good night. It's always a pleasure with you as well. Thank you for the thumbs up. Thank you for everybody that watched. This is just about a half an hour. And these are my closing statements and whatnot. Love and peace, positive vibes to folks out there. Thank you for the communications and contact that folks have been giving me. Thank you for the love everybody's been showing me. Thank you for those folks that's going to watch, this in the upload when it uploads. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, these live streams are something I'm going to continue to do. If you have any comments, if you have any, topics or suggestions that you want, me to talk about and stuff like that, just put it in the comment section below. When this is uploaded, or any other subsequent videos, I'll try to catch you in your live streams. Regardless of who you are. I see you out there. I'll shout you a holler and say hello. And if all hearts and minds are clear, I think it's time for me to go. Take care. Be safe. Peace and love to you.